Welcome to the Digital Micro Trading Journal, the day trading for ROI Journal. This is the journal entry for March 28th, 2022. And the key here is some people are asking, are we in a bear rally right now? Bear rallies happen, they're vicious, they're vertical, and ever since the FOMC on March 16th, we seem to have been going straight up. So is it a bear rally, or are we truly now done with the lows of January and February, and are we on to new highs, new record highs? Forget the high interest rates and inflation. What's going to happen? The answer is forget all that. Focus on taking your next trade setup. That's all that really matters here. So noting for the journal here, I'm going to say the market narrative for me is obvious: higher rates, higher inflation, and that's going to impact corporate America. It may not do it in the next 72 hours, but it's going to definitely be a drag on earnings because the cost of capital is higher and there's going to be earning misses. Again, just look at fuel costs, transportation costs. There's going to be earnings misses in the future. I'm not saying we're going to go recession. I'm just saying higher rates, higher inflation's going to have an impact for sure. I don't see a lot of people talking about this and quantifying what's happening with the yield curve on the treasuries. With 2 years last week, 17.5%. Really? That's the yield up on 2-year treasuries, because on the 18th, we closed. That, again, was when we had the week 25 basis point hike by the Fed. We were 194 on that Friday of the 18th, and we closed on the 25th at 228, 17.53. Tell me that isn't something to take note of for the journal. So again, gonna watch this. I think a lot of market participants are not even thinking about what the impact means here. But the 2 and 10, 248 on the close of Friday on the 10, and 228 for the 2-year. Definitely going to watch that, especially with non-farm payrolls out coming this Friday. Let's see where we end up on the treasuries, because if it's stubbornly going to stay like this, I think the shoe's going to drop here. But this is a big move. As we leave March and transition into April, the key thing I'm going to watch is on the Russell 2000, the S&P 500, the anchored volume weighted average price from March 16th. That's the big date. Okay, that's the FOMC announcement. That's where the equities rallied from. So it's all about this level, this order flow level, anchored VWAP from March 16th, 2022. We'll show it on the charts a little later. So we've got 2 items of seasonality. We could say maybe even 3 if we count non-farm payrolls here for April on this Friday. But the number one thing here is we're closing out the quarter, and it's been a crazy global quarter for everybody. So Q1 is closing out. I am looking definitely for the possibility of some kind of window dressing. Let's see how that works out. And the other thing is the first of the month, April Fool's Day, April 1. Everybody buys on institutional usually on the first of the month. And so I'll be looking for signs to fade any major spike ups, but I don't want to be a major short on the first of the month. So these are the 2 things I'm concerned with for next week. And it all goes into the Friday close, which is the non-farm payroll. And the last thing I want to do is get trapped in some position on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and not to have dry powder for the big non-farm payroll. NFPs can make or break your week, and they come on a Friday right in the Globex. So want to be prepared for that. Charts up next. Okay, Digital Micro Trade Breakdown. This is the trade journal here for the Monday. Globex and RTH. Looking at the 24-hour on the left, this is the MES S&P 500 micros. What we've got here is the flag on the red line, middle Bollinger Band, and I've got this blue dot. That is the FOMC day. That's a critical day to mark here because we want to know anchored VWAP. Anchored volume weighted average price straight up, continuation up here, and that is 44.41.50. So I'm going to track 44.41. We have not touched this anchored VWAP in the last 4 or 5 days. and we've got an 8-day continuation from the 16th. Now let's compare that with the M2k Russell 2000. Very different picture a little bit here, because on the 16th we do break, like we did with the S&Ps, the small caps break the middle Bollinger Band, and we have 3 days in a row continuation on the 24-hour chart. And then we've got a flat for the next 5 days. It's not going anywhere. So it looks like resistance is this green line. That's the 81 exponential moving average. And we've got here the average weighted, moving average weighted price, anchored VWAP, above the 16th. So we chart this blue dot here. We come out with 2055. That's the price. That's a key price. Bulls lose that, then we could definitely be headed for a correction. So to me, this is the canary in the coal mine. We can't rally further unless small caps are participating, and they don't want to participate. But we're closing up March, so there's that window dressing. And then the second thing is institutional buyers on the 1st of April. So those are the things next week to look at. And look, we did hit upper Bollinger Band one day. That was on the 18th. Let's look at where we were on the S&Ps. We hit the 18th, and then again we tagged it just barely on the 22nd last week. So again, I'm focused on this chart is not as bullish, so I'm looking for a mean reversion target, and I will be not long. No longs for next week. Only mean reversion trades, and I will be shorting and scalping for mean reversions. Got a lot of dry powder here, looking for the setup in Globex and RTH for Monday. That kind of is a wrap here for 24-hour charts. Let's go to a profile chart next. Okay, M2k Russell 2000. This is the volume profile. So we've got on the right the composite, and here the blue was the RTH of Friday, and before that red Globex. So what I like about this is we just see such an obvious 2074-30 area. This high volume node right here, this is for bulls the line to hold, and it looks like they are not really able to do that. Price is dancing and tagging it, maybe going a little above it, where this horizontal rectangle on the yellow above. So if we can break 82, bulls can make a run for 2100. I'm looking for possibly looking at a retracement setup on that, versus on the lower here, you can see here 2060s tagged, but bears can't get anything done below it. So that's really interesting here. The 74 to 63, 64, even 65, totally doable for Monday. But I look at the beginning of April, the window dressing for March, and I'm not sure that bears have any game. We'll see. So again, the idea here is be flexible. Do not absolutely commit all the way until it's real clear there's a setup, and these are the larger time frames. So we covered the 24-hour. We've got the profile, and now the plate is set. Let's go to the 120. Okay, this is a core trading chart for the journal, 120-minute, 2-hour chart here, and we can see here the first thing that jumps out, lower Bollinger, upper Bollinger, we've got compression happening, and the compression is everything's tilting up. Middle Bollinger's around 2067, upper 83, lower 51. So I'm not liking this setup at all, because it looks to me like we are going to have a Bollinger Band break. Can't predict for sure it's going to be upper or lower, but we've got price compression, and that consolidation means we're going to have a price expansion. So I need to be treading with cautious. Below here is the RSI. The RSI is no help here. We're right in the middle, in the 50-ish, call it. And then the last note on this chart is the 81 EMA in green, 2055. So again, this is no help. Absolutely no screaming, what would it look like if it'd be a AAA setup? This is not a setup for me. This is hands off, except for a scout team at the high volume node that we already looked at on the profile here, coming in at right around 74. Fine for a scout team short. Again, no longs, but I'm going to hold a lot of dry powder here into Globex to see if we visit upper Bollinger Band or better. That's what I'm looking for to even begin to want to take a setup. And that's all I've got for the charts. Take care. Aloha. Please subscribe.